Hi all, and welcome to Freewill Life UK. I am your host, Francesca Owasho Campbell, and we have a few topics here for you today, so let's get into it. So our first topic is going to be the daycare center shooting in Thailand. I have a clip that I want to show you to give you an insight on what happened. I also want to send my condolences to all the children and adults that was killed on that day. So let's get into it. Okay, I just wanted to say that this is definitely hard to watch. Whenever I hear kids being killed, whenever I hear anything that has kids in danger, it really ruffles my feathers. So this is not for the faint-hearted.
At least 24 children and 11 adults were killed in Thailand after a mass shooting at a daycare center. The suspect, a former police officer, entered the child care center around lunchtime, according to authorities.
And he used to be a police officer. Let's continue.
Killed 22 children and 2 adults and then fled. As he got away, police say he continued to shoot from his car and killed 2 more children and 9 more adults. He went home and killed his wife and child. He then killed himself.
What a coward. Coward, coward, coward. Don't want to face the consequences.
Police say the suspect had a court hearing on drug charges prior to the incident. He was fired from his job because of those charges. About 30 children were at the daycare when the suspect arrived. That was less than usual as the region was experiencing heavy rain, which kept some away. After the incident, Thailand's Prime Minister expressed his condolences and said police were taking action to provide relief to all involved. This is the deadliest shooting in Thailand's history. This is Inside Edition Digital.
What a coward. So he has lost his job as a policeman. He was shamed. So he chose to go to a daycare center and murder children. What has this world come to when there's people out there doing stuff like this? What the F? Gobsmacked. And the fact that he went home, murdered his wife, his son, and then killed himself. Coward. Only a coward would do that. You couldn't live with yourself. You murdered other people's children. What do you say to that? I don't even care about the guy that went in and shot anymore because he's probably getting enough airplay. It's those children. Life cut short because you're disgruntled. Wow. We must find another way. As humans, come on. We must find another way. What could possibly make a person go and do that unless you're insane? These kids didn't fire you. They didn't disgrace you. It saddens me to even know that there's people out there that have a sick mind that they will go into a daycare center where there's children, their parents are working hard. This is why they're in a daycare center in the first place. You cut their life short. For what? What was that in aid of? What do you gain from that? Saddens me. It absolutely saddens me. That brings me to tears, to be honest. Parents, there's not much I can say other than condolences. Again, a life that didn't need to be taken. I don't want to be doing these stories, but this is what's happening in the world. This is what we have subjected ourselves to. Sad. I know after watching that news clipping, I saw another news clipping where there was one survivor. I want to show you that as well.
Worst massacres. Over 20 children were killed in their sleep last week at a daycare center. Our next report brings you all the details. 3-year-old Pavanat Supalwang, Amy to her family, is normally a light sleeper, but at nap time on Thursday, she stayed fast asleep under a blanket, oblivious to the tragedy unfolding around her. 22 children stabbed to death in Amy's nursery. To her mother, Panampay Sithong, it's a miracle she survived.
My kid is not a deep sleeper. I believe there must be some spiritual thing covering her eyes and ears. We have different beliefs, but to me, I think that protected my kid.
Amy was the only child in the nursery to have escaped unscathed after former police officer Panya Kamra burst into the nursery. One stop in a rampage through the town of Utai Sawan that killed more than 30 people.
The person who checked on my kid saw that she had no blood stains. So that person walked over to other deceased kids' bodies to take a look. At that moment, Amy just woke up. She stood with her face facing the wall as Amy was sleeping at the far end. She slept in the corner opposite her best friend named Tachin because they slept.
That would be so traumatizing for this child. What do you think this is going to do to this child? I'm hoping she's young enough that she doesn't remember any of this. This is insane. All her friends gone just like that in a moment while she's sleeping.
In 2 rows. As the rescuers saw her waking up, they covered her with a blanket and carried her out so the child didn't know anything.
Well done.
Didn't know what had happened.
On Sunday, the family's home was bustling with relatives and neighbors sharing food and reflections on the tragedy. They sat in a circle around Amy, heaping blessings and tying white threads on her wrists for luck. The celebration bittersweet in a community flooded with grief.
I have no words. I'm in shock. I feel for other families when I visit them, but when I turn around and look at myself, I'm glad that my kid survived. It's a mixed feeling of sadness and gratitude.
Amy's parents said she seems to have no memory of the attack.
She was asking her grandmother, why don't you pick up Tachin back from school? And her grandmother told her that Tachin is already dead, and also the teacher. She only knows that the teacher and her friend Tachin are dead, but she doesn't know that all her friends are all gone.
I'm glad there is a survivor and that not everybody died. I know after watching that bulletin that it is quite disturbing, but these are the things that are happening in our world today, and I just want to bring it to light. These kids, I don't think, should be forgotten. And I think this man was a coward. I can't believe that he was someone that was enforcing law. And he definitely deserved to be disgraced and fired from the police force. But the fact that his mindset went to, let's kill children, is insane. But this is the world that we're living in. What do you think? Please comment below. Have your say.
Productions.